Did you know the Secret Service was originally created to combat the counterfeiting of U.S. currency?
And that today their job goes way beyond protecting the president?
Find out more on Sarah's Wiki Corner podcast.
It is 4:17, time for Sarah's Wiki Corner. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Hello. What are we learning about today on your Wiki Corner?
Well, today I thought we would talk about something that's been in the news quite a bit in the recent weeks.
Yeah.
The Secret Service.
Oh.
Yeah.
They've
been in the news quite a bit. So I thought we would talk a little bit about the history because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot of this before I looked it up. Yeah.
All right. I know one interesting thing about the Secret Service.
Okay. Well, let's see if I mention it.
I hope you do. It's pretty big.
Okay. Well, the Secret Service is one of America's oldest federal law enforcement agencies. It is mandated by Congress with two distinct and critical national security missions. One is protecting the nation's leaders, obviously.
Right.
And also safeguarding the financial and critical infrastructure of the United States.
See, that's the part.
Yes.
I wouldn't have used so many words to describe it, but that's the part that I knew.
The Secret Service was, until 2003, part of the Department of the Treasury due to their initial mandate of combating counterfeiting of U.S. currency.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
that was like their thing to start with.
Secret Service.
Today, the agency is under the Department of Homeland Security with the purpose of conducting criminal investigations and protecting U.S. political leaders, their families, and visiting heads of state or government.
Sure.
With a reported 1/3 of the currency in circulation being counterfeit in the years after the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln established a commission to make recommendations to remedy the problem.
Sure.
On April 14, 1865, Lincoln signed into law a piece of legislation which created the Secret Service, and that is ironic because it was also the same day he was shot at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. So he signed that legislation.
The Secret Service,
for the same day he was shot at Ford's Theater.
Oh my gosh.
However, back then they didn't have there was nothing about protecting the president at that point. But
Really?
it's still kind of ironic, right?
It is. Wow.
The Secret Service was established later that year as the Secret Service Division of the Department of the Treasury with the mission of suppressing counterfeiting.
Sure.
The Secret Service carried out their Treasury duties primarily for the next 35 years, while Lincoln's assassination sparked a discussion about the need for a permanent security detail for the president. This need went unfulfilled for decades. It wasn't until the assassination of President William McKinley in 1901 that Congress informally requested that the Secret Service provide presidential protection.
So imagine that you're the Secret Service and you're into the counterfeiting money thing,
Right.
and you kind of got that under control. You're
Right.
doing good at it, and then they're like, "We need you to do something else."
Yeah.
This is where you have to put your life on the line
Yeah.
to keep the president and other leaders and heads of state safe.
Right.
That's different than counterfeiting. That's you
very
putting
different.
yourself between, putting your life at
Yes,
risk.
Right. Exactly.
Do you think there was people showed up like, I feel like I'm going to try something else now. I'm going to try a different vocation.
Yeah, I don't know.
The counterfeit money was one thing, but dying, that's something different.
Yeah. So a year later, the Secret Service assumed full-time responsibility for presidential protection. The Secret Service is also a member of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, and they are also a partner of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Oh.
So they do a lot because they still do the counterfeiting, or not the counterfeiting, but the financial stuff.
Sure.
And then also protect the president, but then they also do all these other things too. It's a big agency.
It does. It seems like it's spread kind of thin.
Yeah. So when traveling, the president is never more than 10 minutes from a trauma center, and the Secret Service agents carry bags of the president's blood in case a transfusion is needed.
Wow.
They're on duty all the time, even during the president's leisure time, which means that they can be forced to pick up hobbies, including running and horseback riding.
Oh.
Like if the president is into horseback riding, the Secret Service also has to be into horseback riding,
Wow, that's,
right?
Yeah, all right.
And every bite of food presented to the president is prepared under the watchful eye of the Secret Service.
Man,
they really are everywhere.
Imagine that you're making the food and this dude's looking up.
There's the
big
chef in the
dude
White House
with
kitchen,
dark
and there's just a
glasses.
guy in the corner just watching you. Yeah. So protection of government officials is not solely the responsibility of the Secret Service. Their other primary mission is investigative, to protect the payment and financial systems of the United States from a wide range of financial and electronic-based crimes, including counterfeit U.S. currency, bank and financial institution fraud, illicit financing operations, cybercrime, identity theft, intellectual property crimes, and any other violations that may affect the United States economy and financial system.
A lot of those are crimes that probably have taken an uptick with the advancement in technology in the last 20 years or so. I think.
Yeah.
All the identity theft.
Right. Now, the tradition of Secret Service code names goes back to at least the Truman administration when the large protection detail was permanently established. Truman's code name was Supervise. And his wife...
Supervise?
Supervise, yep. And his wife, Bess, was Sunnyside.
Sunnyside.
Cute. The Secret Service does not choose these names, however. The White House Communications Agency maintains a list that candidates choose from, often choosing ones that resonate with them personally. And traditionally, all family members' code names start with the same letter. Okay. Now, code names are also given to high-profile political candidates. And looking at the list, there's a whole list of them on Wikipedia if you're interested. It's pretty interesting to look at.
Okay.
But one of my favorites that I came across was the McCain family.
Okay, John McCain.
So John McCain was Phoenix.
Phoenix.
His wife, Cindy, was Parasol. His son, John, was Popeye. His daughter, Bridget, was Pebbles. And his other daughter, Megan McCain, was Peter Sellers. Her code name was Peter Sellers.
It's a long one.
Yeah. I don't know why. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure where that
curious.
Came from, but yeah.
I'm really curious now.
Now, visiting dignitaries will also sometimes receive code names. Oh. So Queen Elizabeth II was Kitty Hawk and also Red Fern.
Red Fern.
And King Charles III is Principal or Unicorn.
Unicorn?
Unicorn.
Okay,
yeah.
That's unusual. All right, if you say so.
Yeah.
All right, you picked out a record to go along with the Secret Service, did you, Sarah?
Yeah, so I thought we'd play Secret Agent Man by Johnny Rivers.
We'll do it, Sarah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Oh, Wes said, is food poisoning of the president their fault if they don't detect it? Be like, hey, excuse me, I think the chicken needs to cook a little longer.
It's a little undercooked.
Excuse me. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I do wonder, like, how involved are they?
Well, do they
in that process?
Do they eat on the road? Like, I mean, you'll see them stop at, like, and make appearances at restaurants and things like that.
Barack Obama was at Magnolia's.
Right. So
did the Secret Service?
Do they show up ahead of time?
Soup before he did? Like, is there like a taste?
Or does he not? Or do they not really eat it? Do they just buy it, then disappear into the beast or wherever they're traveling in?
Right.
And then they've got something that's prepared.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
It is wild.
It is
wild to think about.
It would be.
I feel like taster.
Also, it'd be very annoying to just have your. I'm sure the Secret Service agents are very nice, but to have them with you at all times while you're trying to enjoy your hobbies or whatever. I mean, they're with you always. Doctor's appointments, like everything.
Do you think they can reject a certain? So if so, let's say say you're the president, and they assign you like 6-8 people.
Yeah.
And you go through after a week, you're like,
I don't like this one.
This one we don't get along.
This one's annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know,
because you have to like them, I would think, or get along with them.
And I think that the president and the vice president, they can't not have Secret Service detail. I know that, like, they can't. I think after they're done with the presidency, like, they can choose whether or not they still want it or something, but they can have it for their whole life, I think. But not everybody does, I don't think.
Interesting.
I don't know. It is interesting.
Yeah, that must be weird too. You can't go anywhere by yourself.
No, literally nowhere. Even the bathroom. Literally even the bathroom.
They go to the bathroom with them?
Yeah.
They clear out the bathroom first?
I would imagine
they go in there. I mean, they can't. What do they?
The two of them.
Stand outside the stall?
I guess.
I mean, if you clear out the bathroom, I mean, who else is coming in?
I don't know.
You watch the door? Good enough? No.
What if you have a shy bladder? Then what? Then you're sunk,
You are sunk. You are sunk. Right. But then imagine all the things that the Secret Service know about the people they're protecting. I mean, they get to know everything about them.
Most private of all details, I'm sure.
So they hear everything. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Am I ready? Are we ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Here we go. Legends 1027, the biggest hits in the history of the world. That's Johnny Rivers and Secret Agent Man. Sarah, do remind us, why did we just play that record?
Well, because we were talking about the Secret Service.
We were.
Yes.
All right, let's recap 3 things we must take away from today's Wiki Corner. Are you ready?
Ready.
Go.
All right, the Secret Service was originally created to combat counterfeiting.
Abraham Lincoln signed the legislation creating the Secret Service the same day he was shot at Ford's Theater.
And every bite of food presented to the president is prepared under the watchful eye of the Secret Service.
But they don't take a bite first. They just
I guess
watch
not.
it being
They just
prepared?
watch it, make sure they're not slipping anything in there they're not supposed to be. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. Well, you got to be careful, you know. You always got to be vigilant. Always get your eyes on. Folks want to learn more about the Secret Service, Sarah. Where do they go? What do they do?
Well, you can go to my Wiki blog. If you go to legends1027.com, on the homepage, there's a link that takes you to my blog where I post everything I talk about every day.
And is there a list there about those code names that you mentioned for the different people?
I can put a link. I'll put a link to it because it is pretty interesting to just read through.
Read through all the names.
Yeah.
All right, check it out. All right. Sarah, thanks so much. Back tomorrow, 4:10, fresh
Absolutely.
episode. Of course, you can catch this one on Facebook Live as we do it. You can watch it live in studio. You can also catch the archive.
Yeah.
But YouTube, go to youtube.com and search Sarah's Wiki Corner. You'll find them all right there.
That's right.
All right. Be back to tomorrow, fresh episode, like
Absolutely.
we said. All right. Traffic and weather coming up next. We've got Jackson 5 on the way. We'll do some Ozzy Osbourne. And we'll do a twin spin for the Four Tops.
Let's do it.
Some great songs.
Yeah.
We'll do that coming up as well on Legends 1027.